Oh, I'm so bored. Can't get my eyes to focus.
My crew isn't lifting a finger until my man is found. Can't believe I bought into this place's crap reform program story.
You seem really concerned for this worker. What's keeping you from finding him yourself?
Because I'm not the one whose job it is to keep this place secure. I'm just the guy who thought I could trust the people giving us this job.
So, are you interested in helping the galaxy criminals too? Is that why you took the job?
Why does anyone take any job? Credits, and these folks have plenty. But I mean, come on. What they're selling here? Fixing the settled systems by giving criminals career training? You really think the Crimson Fleet are just one typing course away from becoming model citizens?
If they had more options available to them, yeah, maybe they would be.
Never been on the receiving side of a visit from the fleet, huh?
I'm
Now
part of the
look,
fleet. What are you talking
I know
about?
some folks have it tough out there. I've employed my fair share of ex-cons over the years. But you know how they turn their lives around? They did their time and got jobs instead of making the same bad choices again. Those are options everyone's already got. No retreat required.
You gave those employees stable lives, exactly what the retreat wants to do. You agree with them.
But I'm sure you didn't come here just for a debate. Let's talk about something else.
So what is it you do? Or, I guess, don't do around here?
I'm supposed to be the construction foreman. It's my job to make sure the Helios retreat gets built to whatever standard these folks want so they can run this reform program or whatever. But it's also my responsibility to make sure my crew can do their jobs safely, which sure as hell isn't the case right now with one of my people missing. So right now, I'm just waiting.
Missing worker. I want to help.
Oh yeah? It can't be worse than the situation we're already in. The boss, Sloane, she's heading up the manhunt, if you can even call it that. Talk to her and she'll get you up to speed. Uh-huh.
We have to do a picnic here and get a selfie.
Ooh, I like selfies. Oh, everything's stolen. Never mind.
You dropping off? Didn't think we had any deliveries until next week. Got an invoice I can look at?
No, not delivery for just checking out the place.
Oh. Don't get many visitors this far out. Not a lot to see at the moment, but once we're open, the hope is to have plenty on offer. Imports from around the galaxy, stuff made by our residents. Happy to let you peruse what we've already got in. Mostly just the basics at this point, though.
So, are you a former criminal too? What do you do?
Mm-hmm. Most of the staff here are. Got me for digital intrusion and grand larceny. Was in a bad place. Needed a lot of funds. Fast. So I hacked a couple of Galbank servers.
Me
Had
too.
maybe 6
You and I
years
so
left on my
alike.
sentence in Aquila when Sloane and Nevin swooped in. They said they'd pay off my whole bounty if I ran through their pilot program. I didn't have much else going on, so I said sure. It was hard work, but Sloane, the woman is compassion in human form. She stuck with me. And now I'm here, running the retreat shop and maybe someday one of my own.
They paid off your bounty? Where'd they get that kind of money?
Sure did. Anyone who commits to joining the program gets their bounty paid off by the retreat. Not sure who's footing the bill, though. I presume it's coming from outside donations because Sloane and Nevin aren't exactly rolling in cred sticks.
What was that argument?
The construction foreman Halftown and his crew are scrambling their undergarments because one of their guys wandered off the other night. Probably a little too much glug-glug. But now the entire construction crew thinks we're going to slit their throats just because most of us have a criminal past. But look, if you want to get involved, Sloane's been coordinating the manhunt. She'll have all the info you might need. Try not to be too awestruck.
Oh, it's just food. Okay.
Take care now.
And bingo. Let's see what we got.
Get out of the way, Sam. God. Sorry. I hate when NPCs block my way.
These guys certainly aren't lacking in ambition.
Pretty good. Whoa, that's pretty. Meditation room. Administration.
Maybe we're closed. So much to get done.
I'm sorry, love, but the Elios retreat isn't taking new residents right now. We've had some issues. A missing person chief among them. But you're welcome to rest up and refuel here as long as you'd like. So long as there's no bounty hunter after you that's going to kick my brand new door off its hinges.
You guys get a lot of bounty hunters causing property damage around here?
Not yet, but it's certainly a risk, given the retreat's intended line of business. But I'm not about to send anyone packing who might just need a place to collect themselves.
What's the Elios retreat?
Well, at the moment, it's primarily a collection of shipping containers and unused construction materials. But the plan is to make this place into a growth and education residence for the galaxy's incarcerated. We'll offer job training and a support network for folks that otherwise just while away their days in prison just because they didn't have the credits to pay their own bounties. Get them all the tools they need to set up regular, boring lives like the rest of us.
Do you believe that will actually work?
I know it can work. Have the notation to prove it. We did an 18-month pilot program before we started setting up shop here. We're happy to now call 2 of the participants employees of this very facility. They just needed some help getting their footing. And once this place is open, we're going to expand on that success.
Pretty noble.
Well, thank you. Always striving to make my presence in the universe a net positive. but still got a lot of ground to cover. But I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to listen to me blabber. You're probably exhausted. Monica should have any supplies you might need. She's just out front of the main building. And our ship services tech is out near the landing pad if your vessel needs some tending to. And if you need anything else, or just want to talk, you come find me.
So everyone here is a checkered past? What do you do?
If you can believe it, I was Crimson Fleet.
Oh, me too!
Scouring the skies for loot and glory. Ended up finding a hefty prison sentence instead, which, honestly, was probably the best for me and the galaxy at large.
Done some work with Crimson Fleet myself. Exciting life if you got the stones for it.
I'm not gonna tell you there weren't things I enjoyed. But you've got to understand, that sort of life is a short fuse. I hope for your own sake, you'll look for other paths, love. But I'm sure you didn't come here for an ancient history lesson. Was there something else you wanted to discuss?
So what's your job?
Well, once we officially open our doors, the retreat's going to have to be a lot of things to the formerly incarcerated folks we plan to bring here. Residence, school, a place for reflection. Nevin, he handles everything infrastructure related, while I take care of everything our residents might need to get them moving along healthier paths. I make sure we've got the facilities to support everyone. I arrange all our occupational training. Even got my counseling certification a few years back so I can serve as a compassionate ear when people need it.
Can you tell me about Elios Retreat?
Well, like I mentioned, the retreat's our modest attempt to change how the galaxy deals with those who find themselves on the wrong side of the law. Once we're open, the goal is to take in people whiling away in prison because they couldn't pay their bounties. We'll get them job training and a support network. All the tools they need to set up regular, boring old lives just like the rest of us.
Okay.
We're trying to do what we can.
This missing person, I want to offer help to them.
That the truth? Because I can't say it's going to be easy work. But if you found the construction crew's missing man, we'd all owe you.
What can you tell me about this construction worker?
Well, he was last seen a few days ago, so we don't think he could have gotten far. We sent our lone security officer to find him, but things didn't go according to plan out there, and now he's taken up residence in our infirmary. So if you're offering, we'll absolutely take the help.
Not gonna be easy, huh? Why's that?
This planet is not the most accommodating to human life.
It's habitable.
It's wild, empty, and the local fauna, well, they're not big fans of humans. So while I will absolutely take your help if you're offering it, I just want you to be aware, I don't expect it's going to be a walk in the park.
If the money's right, I'll bring you all the construction workers you can handle.
I appreciate the moxie, but let's just start with the one. First things first, you want to speak to Greg D'Angelo, our security officer. He was wounded searching for our worker, Mr. Killman's trail. He should be able to get you pointed toward Killman's last known location.
Who are you? Can't the guy heal in peace?
What happened to you?
I got gored. Was out hunting for this dimwit construction worker when something comes charging out of the overgrowth and puts a horn or a claw or something in my gut. I never got a good look at it. It must have been huge, because it laid me out. It took me 6 hours of crawling to get back here. So unless you need something right now, I'd love to get back to closing up the hole in my torso.
This will only take a second. I just need to know where I can pick up Killman's trail.
Sloan found someone else, huh? Well, hopefully, you'll have better luck than I did. I managed to turn up some tracks outside the facility. Bit of a hike, though. Not sure if they were Killmans, but Ixal's not exactly a bustling metropolis. There was a cave system I scanned nearby, but I got attacked before I could look any further. Next place I was planning to visit once I was on my feet again. I'd start there.
That's quite far away. A level 100 beetle grazer? What the hell? Of course I'm gonna kill it. Do you see how much XP they're worth?
Can you use that for crafting or profit?
What the hell are you doing down here?
No! No! I'm not going back! Stay away! Oh God, please, please don't put me back in the bag. I'll do whatever you say, just please, not the bag.
What are you talking about? What happened to you?
What happened? You're not here to... I was kidnapped. He caught me off guard after hours, threw a bag over my head and marched me off. But I escaped. But then these creatures started hunting me. So I ran in here, and I've got no food, and I'm so hungry, and... Please, take me back. I just want to go home.
Any chance you gotta look at the kidnapper?
No, he kept the bag over me the whole time. I heard his voice, but he honestly didn't say much when I was around. I need this to be over. Please. Please, can we go? Please?
Get your shoes on, pal. We're going to the retreat.
We're gonna make sure nothing else happens to you, okay?
Oh, thank God. You don't know what that... Oh, come on. Let's get out of here. You do know the way back, right?
Yeah, it's just deeper in this hole, probably. No.
In my experience, it always pays to go in through the side passage.
Holy shit, you found him.
There's a face I never expected to see again.
Gilman! Gilman's back! Mother of God, kid. What happened?
I was walking out, and someone threw a bag over my head. They took me... I don't know. It smelled like the inside of the first aid kit. I had to sleep on a steel floor and...
Which one of you crooks bagged him, huh?
Us? Why the hell would we do that? Waste of a perfectly good bag.
You're rambling, kid. Come on. Let's get you cleaned up. You smell like used welder's gear.
Mr. Halftown, I have some medical training. I'd be happy to...
You stay away from her. I want whoever kidnapped my man found and dealt with, understand? I don't care if it's one of your people or mine or a fucking ghost. Find them.
Of course. We'll do what we can. But...
I'm not interested in excuses. I need to know who did this. Just find my man's kidnapper now.
I guess it might have been a bit naive for me to hope for a happy reconciliation, but you brought him back safe. That's what's important. Here, you have my sincerest thanks. But now, we've got a whole new thread to pull on. What are the chances I'd be able to convince you to help us find our kidnapper?
I'll do it, but I want more than this pittance.
Fine. I'm sure I can convince Nevin to trim some fat in the construction budget. Now, Mr. Kilman didn't seem to have a lot of information, but I caught at least 1 or 2 bits I think could help us find our kidnapper.
Be honest with me. Could someone from the retreat have done this?
I want to believe none of them would. But I've been around long enough to know how easy it is for someone to surprise you. So honestly, I don't know. But I think those hints Kilman mentioned about the kidnapper's refuge are the key to figuring it out.
The place had metal floors, so it was a building, not some cave where they were keeping him.
That's right. Not a lot of proper facilities like that in the area. Which makes me think there was a building we were evaluating as a possible site for the retreat not far from here. An old research outpost. Seems like a decent match for the description of our kidnapper's hideaway. Here, the facility's coordinates. Head out there and see what you can find.
We're gonna fly over there. Flying. We're flying. Low 55. Not even gonna bother. Except we're gonna scan it. Leave me alone. You don't need to die today, sir. Probably spacers.
Unable. Repair not possible.
This
Not
is
bad.
my favorite book.
Hey, those add up because they're infinite. Ah.
Caveman.
Hey, Digipix, nice.
Damage.
Oh god, my posture on this chair hurts me. Okay. I gotta sit right, man. That was not worth the difficulty of that. Okay. Oh my. That's a lot.
I thought I was signing up for an exciting job.
You seem to have weathered that trek well enough. Were you able to find anything at the facility?
It was a dead end. Only clue I found at the place was this late and it's busted.
It certainly is. Monica, anything you can do with this?
I can take a look. Oh, it's encoded. Made to look scrambled. And done badly. Looks like... there. Seems there were 2 of them. Oh my god. It's all here. The accidents, the kidnapping, Greg's attack. These 2, they did it all.
Any mention of who they are? They're not with the construction crew, are they?
No names. But there are a pair of ID numbers. They're with the Trackers Alliance.
The Alliance sent 2 bounty hunters? Here? What? Our bounties are all paid.
I'm not seeing an Alliance contract or documentation. I think this is off the books.
So, a couple of trackers have decided to haunt us on their own free time. Why?
Doesn't say.
How do you know how to decode that slate?
It's really not that impressive. Used to sell these on the semi-regular in my old life. A cheating spouse wants to document all their flings without fear of their partner finding out? Just use one of these bad boys. It's computer hacker 101 stuff. And it sure doesn't explain why they've decided to harass us.
Tracker Alliance?
It's the official guild of the galaxy's bounty hunters, known for relentlessly stalking their targets in pursuit of a payday.
Yeah, I killed one.
To a tracker, any person with an outstanding record is a coin purse, ready to be cut open and emptied of value. Regardless of the circumstances surrounding said person's record, there are few groups more ruthless. Though, it's surprising that they've intervened here, where there's no obvious money to be made.
Maybe they got a vendetta against someone here. Hard to see why else they bother.
That certainly seems in the realm of possibility.
So then this is an easy fix. They're bounty hunters. We pay them to leave us alone.
No.
And make ourselves a target for every other hunter in the universe. We need to take a stand.
Says the one guy physically incapable of taking one.
We're not doing anything until we actually find them. Any mention in there of where our trackers might be now?
Sounds like they're on a supply run, outside the system.
Then we got a little time. Given their background, and ours, I expect you're the only person here they might actually listen to. Would you be willing to act as an emissary on our behalf?
I don't know. Can you tell me any more about the 2?
Slate's not big on details. There's 2 of them, they're clearly armed, but that's about all we've got to go on.
But trackers aren't usually the type to take prisoners when it's not required. So the fact that they've thus far remained largely non-violent, well, it means they might be willing to negotiate. With the right person, of course, which I think in this case is you.
Don't worry. They're never going to bother you guys. Ever. Again.
I'm sure we can find a way to solve this issue, which won't require bloodshed.
Let's just pay them and be done with it. I mean, we clearly need more manpower anyway. I'll hire them on as contractors.
To hell with that. We know where they live. Let's have our friend here get the drop on them and send them to the great beyond.
The last thing we need is the galaxy thinking that's how we solve our problems around here, Mr. D'Angelo. I would request you try to avoid any violence. But if you're looking for suggestions on how to proceed, well, it seems we've got opinions to spare.
I think there's a clear way to solve this problem. But the ultimate way forward, I think you should offer them money. And I'm willing to help. Here, all I have liquid at the moment. Hopefully it'll be enough. I'd hand them those credits I gave you. I'm hoping that much will be sufficient.
2,500? No.
Take care, please.
What's up? You want to talk negotiation
What's up?
strategies? Had to deal with my fair share of their kind over the years. You don't get into that job to make it rich. You get into it to be your own boss and prove how tough you are. So, my advice? Let them know that pushing around a bunch of counselors just makes them look like bullies, not tough. Be careful with those goons.
Be careful with these trackers. You don't get love. I can only guess at what these two might be after. But it's clear they perceive something about us as a threat. They're afraid. And all you can do with fear is try and understand it. So, just listen to them, okay? Hear what they have to say. And see if you can make whatever it is they're worried about a little less scary. Good luck out there.
You looking for my suggestion? I don't think they're gonna respect anything other than force. But I think Sloane's not gonna be happy if you handle it that way.
You would be correct, Mr. D'Angelo.
Really?
Who's that?
You. Who are you and what the hell are you doing here? And just who the holy hell are you?
I'm here on behalf of the Helios Retreat. I want to talk.
See? I told you Kilman was gonna lead them to us. Should have slit his throat when we had the chance.
Quiet. Listen, unless you're here to tell us those convicts have decided to close up shop, then we've got nothing to discuss.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you care? Are you afraid of a couple of ex-cons?
I couldn't care less about the cons. They can huff fish innards until they rot for all we care. But this retreat, if they actually succeed, keep criminals out of the bounty system, well, the galaxy probably doesn't need so many trackers at that point, does it? And then maybe the big boys like the UC and the Collective set up programs of their own, just like Helios. Put us all out of a job. No, better to nip it in the bud now before it becomes a threat. Which is why I'm not interested in discussing anything except the date and time they're shutting their doors.
I'm not even gonna. We can solve this without anyone getting hurt.
Take the easy way. It's less painful and so much easier. Hence the name.
That's so.
The people who retreat are tougher than you think. They're not gonna give up.
But they gotta give up eventually, right?
You must think you're real tough, picking on a bunch of unarmed office workers and counselors.
What? That's not what this is. We're tough. Fine. We'll leave the retreat alone. Can't make any promises about us being the last, though. Just get out, all right?
Okay.
Couple of damn trackers. We'll be around.
There you are. You were gone for quite a while, love. Are you all right? Were you able to find our trackers?
Sure did, and I convinced them to leave you all alone.
That's the best news I've had in quite a while. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, love. This place, all of us, we are in your debt. There is just one last piece of business, though. Nevin asked to speak to you, in private. He's waiting for you up in the office.
You want your money back?
Ah, there you are. So, first things first, I need to say, well, thank you.
Let's jump to the explaining what you want part.
Of course. I'm sure you're anxious to get on your way. It's just the situation you set right with the trackers. It's one we don't want to find ourselves in again. Luckily, we have someone, our founding donor in fact, who has offered to reach out to the Alliance, ensure their good behavior going forward. Before she does, however, she's asked for the details of what exactly occurred. I've already shared my own insights, but, well, she wants to talk to you, too. Is that something you might be amenable to?
Who exactly are you speaking to?
Our benefactor has said she'd prefer to do the introductions herself. But you can rest assured she wants only to thank you in person, hear your side of the story. Nothing more sinister than that.
Well, if that's all you need, sure, I can talk to her.
Ah, she'll be pleased to hear it. Head to Aquila City in the Cheyenne system. Check in with Justin Sneed, her security chief. And I would ask you to try and be polite. She's the only reason we're here.
Okay.
Hard to... Mr. Kilman has a long recovery ahead of him. But at least the worst... Some other time, then.
Ship is now docked. Perfect. Need switch the paint. Clean separation, Captain. Perfect.
Level 101. Dave. 8 skill points. Ooh, baby. I think we were working on getting this. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Yeah, I can see why this is insane. Now we can regenerate health. Oh god, the frames.
Tower's closed. Come back some other time.
I was told checking on you. I'm Bill, the one who heard about Elios' retreat.
You're them, huh? I've got 2 rules for this little meeting. Rule number 1, you're not to share anything you discuss up there. This is a private matter, and we're going to keep it that way. Rule 2, you decide to get playful with that weapon, we're going to have serious problems. Think you can abide by those?
Let's just say sure and see how things go.
Suppose I can take that as a yes. Fine, head upstairs. Miss Lance is waiting for you.
And that must make you our guest. Please, take a seat. Now, you may already know who I am. Raisha Lance, CEO, Laredo Firearms. And you, I know all about. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for the retreat. Truly, it's a project that's near and dear to my heart.
You're the person responsible for the retreat, the CEO of the weapons manufacturer?
I'm not the sole donor, but yes, the retreat is a project I've been trying to foster for some time now. My attempt to improve the plight of humanity, even if just in a minor way. Which is why I'm so thankful for your intervention on its behalf.
You're quite welcome.
Now, I presume Nevin already got you up to speed. I need details before I talk to the heads of the Trackers Alliance. Make sure their members understand the retreat's off limits. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just jump right into it.
Sure.
Lily here will be taking notes as we go. Now, Nevin said all the various incidents afflicting the retreat, they all stemmed from this pair of rogue bounty hunters. Do I have that right?
What sort of other incidents are you talking about?
There were a streak of thefts and accidents leading up to Mr. Kilman's kidnapping. We'd presumed they were just bad luck or local fauna. Ixel's not exactly the most hospitable of worlds, but Nevin made it sound as if those bounty hunters might have been responsible for it all. And I was hoping you could confirm if that was the case or not.
All I can confirm is that they were involved in the kidnapping. The rest I wasn't present for.
Ah, I'll be sure that's noted. But you did manage to get those two to leave the retreat alone. You mind my asking how you accomplished that?
I just talked to them, got them to see reason.
2 trackers and you just talked them down? That's quite the feat. I'm interested in the details, though. How exactly did it all play out?
I'm an expert negotiator. Those who are lucky I didn't talk them into flying themselves into a star.
I bet they are. So, only other thing I wanted to ask, and I'm just looking for an opinion here, is there anything in your eyes that could have been done to prevent this happening?
The retreat's woefully underprotected. You need more security.
After everything I've heard from you and Nevin, I'm inclined to agree. It'll take time to get the right people in place for this kind of work, but I'll make sure it's addressed. But that should give me enough to present to the Alliance. Thank you for making the time.
I'm surprised you didn't ask
Now,
why they did
what
it.
you did, well, it deserves something more than just a couple of firm thank yous. Here, I want you to have these. They're a rare make, but I think you've earned it. Now, was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we went our separate ways?
How are you gonna get the Tracker Alliance to play ball?
You make lots of friends in my position. Friends in the Freestar Collective, friends in the UC. The sort of people with influence over things. Like, say, how much a locality is allowed to spend on Alliance contracts each quarter. When the Alliance heads grasp that it's better for us all to be friends, I expect they'll leave the retreat well enough alone.
What made you want to get involved?
It's something that's been on my mind for a while now. How best to help the galaxy's incarcerated population? Humanity's tried plenty of bad ideas. Throwing them in jail and forgetting about them. The UC gave that a go way back when. Took all their criminals to a penal colony on Suvorov and left them to their own devices. Well, those folks didn't appreciate that sort of treatment, took over the colony, and now we call them the Crimson Fleet. Next, we tried making them pay fines instead of going to jail. Except if you don't have the money, that's no sort of improvement at all, is it? Bad idea after bad idea. I thought it was time we tried something new. That's where the plans for the retreat came from. Our attempt at doing things different.
I think you're doing real good with the retreat.
That's kind of you. But without your help, it might have stayed just a goal. You have my sincere thanks. Now if you'll excuse me, as you've seen, there's plenty to be done.